That's the part people don't understand. I didn't call the police. I didn't confront her. I didn't even say goodbye. This event happened summer 1978. My name is Chris, and title of this story is Why I Never Hired a Nanny Again Since the Alabama Incident. I just left, packed what I could carry, grabbed my son, and drove through the night without looking back. Because by the time I realized what was happening in that house, it was already too late to handle it like a normal person. And if I had stayed one more night, I'm not sure either of us would have made it out. Part 2. Setting the stage. This was back in Alabama. Small town, quiet, the kind of place where nothing really happens until it does. I had just moved there after my divorce. New job, new house, trying to rebuild something that felt like a life. It was just me and my son, Caleb. He was 5 at the time, smart kid, quiet, observant in a way that sometimes made me uncomfortable. I worked long hours, and I didn't have family nearby, so eventually I had to accept it. I needed help. That's when I started looking for a nanny. Her name was Evelyn. She wasn't what I expected. Most applicants were younger, college students, part-timers. But Evelyn was older, late 40s, maybe early 50s. Calm voice, soft smile, and eyes that didn't blink as often as they should. But everything else checked out. Perfect references, years of experience, clean background. She said she preferred working in quiet homes. That should have been my first warning. At first, everything was fine. Better than fine, actually. Caleb liked her immediately. That alone surprised me. He was usually slow to warm up to people. She cooked, cleaned, kept the house running smoother than I ever had. And there was something about her presence that made the house feel still, not peaceful, just still. Like the air wasn't moving. It started small. One night, I came home earlier than usual. The house was quiet, too quiet. No TV, no toys, no sound. I called out for Caleb, no answer. Then I heard it, soft, whispering, coming from the hallway. I followed it slowly, and when I turned the corner, I saw them. Caleb was standing facing the wall. Evelyn stood behind him, her hand resting lightly on his shoulder. Both of them whispering, not talking, whispering in sync, same rhythm, same tone, like they were repeating something together. I asked what they were doing. Evelyn turned to me, smiling. "Oh, just a little game," she said. Caleb didn't turn around, not immediately, and when he finally did, his expression was blank, like I had interrupted something important. After that, things started to shift, slowly, subtly. Caleb stopped talking as much, stopped laughing, stopped asking questions. Instead, he started listening. That's the only way I can describe it. He'd sit in corners, staring at nothing, like he was waiting for something to speak. And sometimes, his lips would move, but no sound would come out. One evening, Evelyn pulled me aside. She said Caleb needed structure. She handed me a list, house rules. I remember a few of them. No loud noises after 8 p.m., no mirrors uncovered at night. Doors must remain closed after midnight. If you hear footsteps, don't open the door. I laughed. I thought it was a joke. She didn't. That night, I woke up at exactly 2:13 a.m. No reason. Just awake, and immediately I knew something was wrong. The house felt different, heavier, like the walls had moved closer. Then I heard it. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, outside my bedroom door. I remembered the rule. If you hear footsteps, don't open the door. I should have listened, but I didn't. When I opened the door, the hallway was empty, but the air was cold, colder than it should have been. I stepped out slowly, and that's when I noticed. Caleb's door was open. I walked toward it. Every step felt wrong, like I was walking into something I wasn't supposed to see. And when I reached the doorway, I froze. Caleb was sitting on the bed, facing the corner, just like before. But this time, Evelyn wasn't behind him. She was in front of him, kneeling, speaking to him in that same whisper. But there was something else, something I couldn't explain, because her shadow didn't match her. It was longer, taller, and it moved, slightly out of sync with her body. I stepped inside, and that's when Caleb spoke. Not to me, to her, but his voice wasn't his. It was deeper, older, and layered, like two voices speaking at once. He said, he's starting to notice. Evelyn slowly turned her head toward me, and for the first time, she didn't smile. The next morning, I confronted her, asked her what was going on. She didn't deny anything, didn't even try. She just said, some children are open. She told me Caleb was listening to the house, that it had always been there, that she was just helping him understand it. I told her to leave. Immediately, she nodded, calm as ever, and said, if I go, it won't stop. I should have left that day. I didn't. That was my mistake. That night, everything escalated. Doors opening on their own, whispers from rooms we weren't in, shadows moving where there was no light. And Caleb, he stopped responding to his name. At one point, he looked directly at me and asked, why did you bring her here if you didn't want to hear it too? Around 3 a.m., I heard a loud crash, glass shattering. I ran to the living room. The mirror, the one Evelyn said to cover, was broken, and Caleb was standing in front of it, bleeding from his hand, but he wasn't crying. He was smiling, and behind him, in the shards of broken glass, I saw something, not a reflection, something else, something looking back. That's when I knew. We couldn't stay. I grabbed Caleb, didn't pack, didn't think, just left. As I carried him out, he kept whispering, same rhythm, same tone. And right before we got into the car, he leaned close to my ear and said, she's not in the house anymore. I asked him what he meant. He smiled. She came with us. We moved, far, different state, different life. Caleb slowly went back to normal, talking again, laughing, being a kid. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear it, soft whispering from the hallway. And every once in a while, Caleb will stop what he's doing, tilt his head slightly, and listen. I never hired another nanny again. Not because I don't trust people, but because I don't know what might be listening through them. And if it ever finds another way in, I'm not sure I'll recognize it in time.